Hi Aries, it's Meg with Padmes, and I'm doing your January 2022 reading today. We're calling in our angels and guides of the highest vibrations of love and light because I don't want to talk with anyone else. And we're going to look at the lay of the land here. We're going to look at your old wise tree spread and just see kind of what wants to happen for January. And I'll pull some other cards based on what comes up, but we'll look at maybe some energy that you don't see coming and get some advice from your guides. I also wanted to, I pulled a card, or I was actually pre-shuffling, but this is the card that came out for your archetypes for January. It's Kairos. And I just decided to keep this because it just felt really right. So instead of, I pre-shuffled, but instead of continuing to shuffle, I'm going to keep that. Kairos as an archetype is all about mythic timing. It's all about divine timing. It's about getting lost. It's like when you're with a friend or when you're in your zone, you get lost in time. It seems like a time warp, where it seems like a wormhole of time where things go like there's no time, no space. Like you're there and you feel like it's been 5 minutes, but it's been an hour or something like that. There's something about divine timing, and that is also talking about like the internal time clock, where some people have it when they want to have babies. Some people have it when it's time to move. You know, different things happen. Even in conversation, there's a time to say something and you know when it's time to say something and you know when it's not. It's like having that kind of divine time frame clock going on. So I love that as a theme for January 2022 for you. Okay, so this is for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And I'm going to go ahead and move the camera so you can see the cards. Here we go. So we've got Kairos up here, and we'll just leave that there. And we're going to start off with the old wise tree spread and see what wants to happen here. Aries, Aries. All right, Aries. Some interesting stuff coming up for January. So the first thing that I'm noticing the heart of the situation, and I'm noticing the big picture. So the heart of the situation is talking about this is judgment reversed in the Magician. Judgment reversed is indicating something going backwards, something talking about going backwards in time, but it's being stuck in the past somehow and manifesting from a past place. We're going to go around and we're going to clarify all of this also. But going around, sorry, I had to take a little sip of tea. This feels like going around and manifesting from a past place. We're going to clarify that. And the big picture jumped out too, so I'm going to talk about that. This has to do with reciprocity. It has to do with being compensated, getting an equal exchange of energy that you are giving out, receiving it. And there's some kind of happening now and into the near future. Here's the death and rebirth card. It's reversed. So it's something that you're still working on. There's some kind of energy from the past that needs to be released so that you're not manifesting from a place in the past. And that cycle, it's like being in the middle of it still. And somehow it's keeping you from receiving compensation or energy that you need in order to move forward. So let's take a look at this. I want to look at this judgment reverse first. Divine timing. I'm keeping that Kairos in mind this whole time. Divine timing. This is about new things. This is about wish fulfillment, but it's about new things coming into play. So it's like a new cycle wants to begin, but you're still in the middle of the old one. Some new energy, though, is pushing you forward. And, I was wondering about this. Here's the Lover's card. We've got two kings going on here. We've got a Capricorn down here as well. So let's see. This is like, there's some cycles in the past that need to be pushed forward and moved out of in order to, this is heart healing, but it's also in order to ignite a new energy in love. This very well could be a new relationship, Aries. Okay, so I want to look at this death reverse, death and rebirth, being in the middle of a cycle, being in the middle of a transitional phase here. And this has to do with the way you see things. It's about image. It's about what things used to be and what things actually are right now. So this cycle has to do with how you are viewing a situation, what you see as reality. From, you might be telling some stories to yourself or seeing the story in the same way as you did a long time ago, but now you're a completely different person. And this time frame, you're a different person now than you were before, because we cannot help but be that. But if you're still in your mind in that place from a long time ago, even from childhood, there's some kind of process that needs to happen, because it's keeping you from really being able to exchange the energy that you need. Let's look at that. Wow, it's the story. So this is about checking your story. I'm hearing somebody has blinders on. Let me just ask, tell me the best way to remove those blinders. Because when we have blinders on, sometimes we don't even know we have blinders on. We're blind to the blinders. Wow, that's funny. And then I'm hearing somebody say peaky blinders. It does. I do feel like these are childhood dynamics that have played out in other scenarios, but I do feel like it's childhood stuff. It's like stuff that you learned how things work when you're a child, when that's not it at all. Okay. And I think it's exactly what I'm talking about. This is incubation. This is like, I'm not making any decisions until I have more information, but I'm blindfolded. So I might not even be seeing the information that I need to see. This is going to be a deep dive. It's going to be an excavation. Here's the Devil card. This is also Capricorn, but this is in your advice. Your advice is to check out your shadows. Check out what's being mirrored around you, because it doesn't have to be that way if it's not working in your favor. It doesn't have to be that way. All you have to do is see what the reality is right now. It's not the same as it was when you were younger. It might not even have been true at the time, but that's just what you learned because your caretakers were telling you that that was their truth, but it's not necessarily your truth. But the best way to go about finding these out, it's the excavation. What am I not seeing? What am I not seeing? Okay, here's another clue. So here's the Hanged Man. This is the universe helping you out, keeping you stuck in a particular situation, or it might seem like you're stuck or being put on hold or not being able to move as fast as you want to move, but the universe is helping you out so that you can see things from a different perspective. So whatever it is that you feel stuck on or stuck with, or that's not moving quickly, that's the first place to start. What am I not seeing? Look at what's being reflected back to you, around you, in the places where you feel stuck. Okay. I'm just going to pull one of these clarifiers for all of that advice. Yeah, this is like, what do you feel like is deteriorating? What do you feel like, yeah, I'm hearing somebody saying time has taken a toll. What is that? What needs to be looked at differently? This is something that feels like it's a complete burden. Like you're taking on burdens for other people. You're processing some things that are not yours to process. It's starting to feel heavy. And that's why the universe is also trying to like push you into your next phase here. But it does have to do with looking at things from a different way. It's almost like brainwashing, but it's self-speak. It's constant self-speak. It's a need to change some kind of self-speak that came from a long time ago that you're using in present day scenarios and situations. Here, this is all coming from a place of starting to create that yellow brick road, starting to build from a tower moment. That foundation was cracked, the tower blew up, and now we're starting to put the bricks back in. We're starting to create that foundation so that it's solid, safe, and secure. So when we build it up, it's not going to fall down again. Here's an offer. This is an opportunity to do this, to work within the paradigm of the epiphany of the tower falling down. Yeah, and it's a doozy. Here's the mountain. This mountain is something that is difficult to overcome, but it is not impossible. It's like, this has been a hard road to do this with, but you're doing it. This is also about, talk about divine timing. I feel like angels and guides, your guides are talking to you. You can hear them, see them, just have intrinsic understanding of what kind of messages are coming through. But also, this is synchronicity, synchronistic events happening. I want to take a look at what your higher self, oh my gosh, this is exactly self-imposed limitations. These are the stories that we keep telling ourselves that aren't true anymore. This is exactly what this card is. It's keeping yourself, ooh, I'm hearing somebody say, keeping yourself in lies. They didn't have to be lies at one time, or they just could have never been your truths. There's somebody else's truths. But this is you. Talk about reflections. I love this deck. So this is the Light Seers deck. So this is this person looking in the mirror, seeing her reflection. And this is her being tied up, bound. My hands are tied. I have no other options, but it's completely a facade. It's not true. She's not really tied up or bound. She can step up and out of that. But then your angels and guides are like, you're just on the precipice of that. This is not being ready to move on and move forward. And I want to ask why? What needs to happen still for you to move on and move forward away from this? These stories. It's like, I need to receive a message. I need to receive the message that this was poison. Whatever this was lying, cheating, and stealing. Whatever this program was, how can you receive this message? Okay, this is about honoring yourself. This is about recognizing that you see reality differently than someone else who programmed you in the first place. And I feel like you know what this is already. This would be you. This would be agitation towards someone that you've known forever, like family or friends from childhood. But this is you giving yourself the benefit of the doubt that you know the truth instead of just blindly believing someone. That's the message. The message is from you, from your higher self. The message is about giving yourself the benefit of the doubt. You are right. There you go, Aries. That's all you need to know, right? You're right. Okay, this is about releasing healing only halfway. So release the idea that you can only heal so much. You can heal fully. And I'm hearing the word contentment. You can fully feel contentment. Again, I feel like this is about image. You can heal and you can feel contentment about who you are and what you are. And I want to say that part of this is about image. Part of this is about what's reflected back to us. But if we have people telling us we are a certain way, or telling us who we are, telling us our business, they're reflecting back to us something that's going on intrinsically, internally. And so healing halfway is still leaving a docking station for some of the stuff that they're saying. There's some kind of false belief that you're hanging on to that needs to be updated. It needs to be updated. That's what I'm hearing. And talk about divine timing. Here's the Wheel of Fortune. This getting lost in time, no space. The wormhole. This is like, I have resistance to not completing the cycle. I have resistance to not being in complete alignment with the universe, which means that you have the momentum of aligning. I feel like the universe is helping you to get to the next part of that next cycle, to get into the next energy, bubble of energy. And this is about you seeing things clearly. Wow, check that out. I love it. And I totally feel like that. This divine timing, it totally has to do with you seeing things clearly, clairvoyantly, having knowingness, understanding. That's what this is about. This is about coming out of the mean sleep, coming out of hibernation, and into a complete knowingness of who you are. Oh, Aries, I'm really liking this a lot. Okay, past, present, future. In the past, I'm hearing that this is some divine timing that's happened in the past. So you have gotten some inkling of some messages in the past. And this is with your council of light. This is a celebration of energy families coming together, is what I'm hearing. Okay. This can be reconciliation of some kind, but I feel like this has a lot to do with angels and guides of the highest vibrations, coming into contact with them, getting messages from them. This is already happening. All right, so here we have two kings. This masculine energy, let's check this out. There's a lot of masculine energy here. And then here is the balance of masculine and feminine energy in the trajectory. So this can be, wow, I even hear two lovers. It can be two lovers. This can also be this choice that takes place in the trajectory, choosing one over the other. Here's masculine energy that's talking about passion. I'm also hearing fame, but masculine energy that's talking about passion, very fiery. This actually feels like someone who, it's like you have a complete immediate energetic connection with, and it does feel like soulmate, twin flame type energy, or that type of addictive energy that you can feel when you meet someone, like chemical attraction. And then here is masculine energy coming forward, and it's the King of Swords, but it's reversed. You know, I gotta say, I actually feel like this is one person, and they're coming in with both of these energies. So it's like this chemical attraction, but then there's some kind of communication that's not clear. I'm also hearing that's not safe, or it doesn't feel safe because it's not clear. So there's a whole bunch of sexual chemical energy here, but then there's some kind of truth that's not completely realized here. There's some kind of, it's like, I mean, it can be lies, but it's almost feeling like it's just stuff that's not talked about. It's not like somebody straight out being some crazy liar. It's more like there's some things that are unsaid that create confusion because they're not cleared up. But whew, yeah, it looks like there's a complete attraction to someone, and there's some kind of uniting here. There's some kind of like magnetization that happens here. Talk about divine timing. There's knowingness here about this, but I also want to say, if you have not gone through that cycle from the past and cleared those things up, this can be an addictive relationship that just goes through that cycle again. So be aware of that. I know there's some, here's that little foxy, and this foxy is a little bit conniving. Sometimes it's just being kind of strategic, but there's some kind of strategic force here that it's being strategic in order to feel safe. And so I feel like this is you, Aries, being in protective mode. So it's like trying to control a situation with information. Like, I'm not going to say that because that might hurt their feelings. I'm not going to say that because then it'll make them feel this other way. So it's like trying to protect somebody else's feelings or control their feelings by withholding information or something like that. This can be you, but it can be them too. So it's basically just not being transparent. It's not necessarily malicious. It's just part of this cycle of survival that's happening. Here's the opportunity to heal from that. But this is also about being protective and controlling. So know that possibility. Wow. Okay, so it does feel like this person, you've known them before. It feels very soulmatey. It also feels like, oh, just be careful about setting yourself up for, I don't want to say setting yourself up for being disappointed. I just want to say setting yourself up for redoing this cycle that you've done before. There needs to be something that becomes transparent in the relationship and in the interaction and in the communication so that you don't repeat this cycle. I am hearing for someone, it's an abandonment cycle. This is about doing some research on this kind of cycle. It's about doing some research on how to communicate with someone and be transparent. It's also, I'm hearing for somebody, super important. I'm hearing for somebody who feels like they've been ghosted before. Don't interact with people who ghost you. Don't interact with them. Okay, that's for somebody. I want to look at this union. Oh, wow. This is about working hard to communicate and to bring this together, but this is also the key of knowledge. This is coming together with someone who can be a long-term person, someone you can grow with, someone you can heal and you can move forward together. This has so much to do though with you being in a process of that for yourself. It's not like, I'm not in total agreement with some people who say you have to be a complete person, like completely healed before you meet your person that you're going to be with for the rest of your life. That would be fabulous, right? But how realistic is that? We have our own time frames of healing. And I feel like as long as you are in the process of constantly doing self-reflection, it's okay to move into another relationship. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes we need to do a lot of stuff before we get to that place, but you don't have to be this perfect person or this perfect version of yourself to move into a relationship. I just want to put that out there. But doing constant reflection and looking at where your blocks are and your blinders are, super important for all the time anyway. So just have that in mind. But this is about being able to heal together, being able to be real together and transparent together. And that is the key to both of you healing together, but also as separate beings. Wow. Okay. I want to take a look at, I'm going to look at some romance oracle, but what I also want to look at is the messages of love oracle cards. I want to see what your angels and guides want to say about this January 2022 energy. And about this relationship that's coming forward and about this cycle that you are in. Wow, true love. This love is emotional, physical, and unconditional. Aries, you have got love coming in. Yes, release, radical acceptance and surrender can help you let go. This is definitely something that needs to be released in order to be open to receive this new love. Even while you are open to receive this new love, continuing to release the old stuff. I feel like this, I just said that, new love, a new love or recommitment to love is developing. Wow. Friendship, this friendship is leading to more. I feel like this person feels like someone you've known for a long time. It could feel like someone that you've had past life experiences with. I feel like this can be, it can be twin flamey, but it not like the twin flamey thing, not in the way that, not in the way that it's so difficult, in the way that it's so connective. So in the way that you can grow and heal and learn from each other, it feels very soul connected. I'll just say that. It does not have to blow up in your face. It can actually be very healing and fiery and wonderful. But there's something super important about this energy. You have to clear, I want to say clear the air, but clear the fog away. There has to be some transparency, and transparency about cycles from the past, transparency for yourself to recognize your own cycles and how you project onto somebody and not do that, or understand how to release it, or something like that. There's something going on there. Let's see. I want to look at your romance angels. Ooh. Wow. Free yourself. Free yourself from the past. Free yourself from this cycle. It's time to take back control of your life. If you feel like you have to control the situation, or you feel like you have to, you're in charge of how somebody else feels, there's something going on. Codependency, like that is very specifically about your cycles. Check out how you are codependent, or how you have had codependency tendency in the past, and just be aware of it so that you don't continue it on. If that's you, if you know what that feels like, or you know what that experience is, right? Worth waiting for. I feel like more so this is talk about divine timing at work in your love life. Wow. Wow. It's time. It's time. But worth waiting for. If it's been a while since you've had this type of love, or even the thought of moving into this healthy relationship, you've been cooking, and now it's time. Also, I feel like it's okay to move slowly with this, even though it looks like it could move quickly all of a sudden. Just know that you can move slowly with this, that it doesn't have to be the type of relationship that goes away quickly. This is not a fling. The thing is, though, if you're in that type of cycle that you're needing to release, you could create this feeling of fling. It doesn't have to be that way if you are wanting a long-term committed relationship, but it does look pretty spicy. I will just say that. Let's take a look at some energy that you don't see coming, Aries. Energy that possibly you don't see coming. Here we have mature man. Despair. Lovers. And poverty. I feel like this has to do with the cycle. There's a lot of masculine energy here. Okay, which is also doing energy, action-oriented energy. So it's really important also to recognize what you're bringing to the table and what this other person is bringing to the table. I feel like this person, they can be wanting a lot of attention from you because they're wanting to feel better about their own situation. So if I haven't been talking about you and your energy, it could be this other person who's coming into your life, or it could be that you have mirroring patterns and themes. So if that's the case, you can still be very transparent about the red flags. I recognize this red flag. You don't have to call it a red flag. I recognize this pattern that you're exuding. I want to make sure we're on the same page. I don't want to be united and then feel like I'm the one who gave too much and I'm not getting the energy back that I'm giving. Super important. You don't have to redo that story. You don't have to be someone's emotional punching bag. You don't have to be, you know, the Band-Aid for somebody else. So recognize if someone is action-orientedly coming in, needing something from you, and you're like, yay, someone needs me. Check in with that codependency pattern. So I feel like what you don't see coming is the opportunity to look at this pattern in some different ways this month. Super important, Aries. All right, I want to look at your moonology. Whoa. I'm going to take just this top one. A time to give rather than to take. That's so interesting. So this is the part, this is the cycle. This is the cycle to look at. When you feel like you are supposed to be giving rather than receiving, because what divine timing is talking about right now is that you are supposed to be receiving just as much as you are giving. So here you have a perfect opportunity to look at the cycle. Giving more than you're receiving. Wow, that's pretty perfect. And balance spirituality and practicality. This is all about balance. 2022 is a 6 year. This is all about bringing balance in. I'm going to pull one more moonology for you, Aries. All right. What do you need to release? Actually, yes, and hold your vision. You know what you are, you know what you want. Hold your vision. This is also about not compromising. Don't compromise. Don't bend. You can get everything that you want. You can feel how you want to feel. Okay, that's what I have for you, Aries. I will talk to you soon. Happy New Year.